question for everyone here. What do you remember about being 8 years old? Like third grade. What was that like for you? I'm sure if you think back to that, you'll have memories of school projects, playdates after school, and maybe family trips. I'm not sure how many of you will include memories of hospitals, surgeons, oncologists, or MRIs, CT scans, and IVs. If you ask the average 8-year-old, the only doctor they have is their doctor, their pediatrician. By the time I was 9, I had a brain surgeon, a neurologist, an oncologist, a neuroradiologist, an anesthesiologist, a cardiologist, and don't worry, a really good therapist. When I was 8, I wasn't so worried about school projects and playdates because I was more concerned about the brain tumor that decided to show up in my life and create some memories that I wish I could forget. So yeah, third grade wasn't the best. Neither was fourth. In fact, once I was diagnosed, literally nothing was the same for me. But that is also when I met High Lifeline. And suddenly, I started to get some memories that I actually never wanted to forget. High Lifeline was there for me at every appointment, every inpatient stay, every time I was home from school. I know you probably hear parents talk about High Lifeline and how they bring smiles and joy and all that great stuff that you see on videos. But let me break down to you what High Lifeline really is. When High Lifeline volunteers showed up, I knew that they would probably end with me covered in shaving cream or glitter or drenched in a water fight. I knew that I'd be driving in some sick car to do some activity that would be on most kids' make-a-wish list. This wasn't just a one-time thing either. Their job was to keep me happy, get me away from my always worried parents. Sorry, Mom, but you know it's true. And just let me forget about whatever horrible day I was having. When I was in the hospital, the staff always knew who we were. I think my room was always on probation, because what other room would have rave parties late at night when everyone was sleeping? With High Lifeline, the party was always on, and I knew that no matter what, they would show up. Those were just the small things. The big things, I went to Disney on an amazing 4-day trip. That was huge. I went to Camp Simcha. I met kids just like me. Well, let's be real, no one's like me. You know what I mean. I met one of my best friends. I met counselors who became my brothers. I learned that I was much more than the kid with the brain tumor. And most important, I was given a chance to be free from all the medical drama for a few weeks. My life might have become a mess when I was 8 years old, but High Lifeline was there to make sure that between doctors and hospitals, that I could still be a kid. And even though the volunteers were totally insane, they were probably the most sane part of my life, and what was the most insane time in mine and my family's life. I'm 13 years old right now, and it would be great to say that it's years later, and now I'm spending my time giving back to High Lifeline, which I am. But unfortunately, things did not play out that way. I mean, it started like that. My mom had run with Team Lifeline for 2 years, and last year, I planned joining her, and I signed up to run the Miami Half Marathon in honor of my upcoming bar mitzvah. I know that there are some bar and bat mitzvah runners out there tonight, so here's a shout out. Nice work. So I started training for the race. But that October, we found out that my brain tumor had come back, and this time it was stronger and brought some friends. Don't worry, really good therapist. I was still able to run last year, and I finished the 13.1 miles, but the very next day, I got on a plane to Washington, D.C., and once again, my life turned upside down. So remember, I asked you if you remember third grade? What if I asked you to remember middle school? I'm pretty sure that our memories will not be the same. I was back at home more often than at school. I was flying back and forth to DC. I was a regular in our local ER. When everyone else was learning algebra, I learned how to take out my own IV. Trust me, it gets you out of the hospital quicker. And learning the difference between good chemo drugs and bad chemo drugs. When the other kids were dyeing their hair strange colors, my hair slowly changed colors by itself from these experimental drugs I was on. Seriously, this color cost a fortune. Ask my insurance company. And High Lifeline showed up again, Southeast, Mid-Atlantic in New York. They met me at the airport with a party bus. They took me to a farm, an amusement park, a haunted house, and other places like the Oval Office. The Oval Office. The Oval Office. I mean that Oval Office. They made sure every second I was not at the hospital, I was doing something completely not hospital. They even brought me baby ducks to me because they heard I really liked them. By the way, they're so cute. And I went back to Camp Ciment, this time as a teenager. All of this was possible because of you, Team Lifeline. I ran last year before I started treatment, and my plan was to do it again. Unfortunately, these tumors in my doctors have benched me for the season, so I will not be joining you on the race course tomorrow. Trust me, I tried. But here's the deal. Being a part of Team Lifeline means that we run for all of the kids, like me, who suddenly find themselves in a messed up world and who need to fill their lives with the memories that block out the bad ones. So even though I'm on Team Binny, I'm also part of Team Vera. Team Vera. Team Sophie. Team Mary. Maybe even team putting us all again, even though you guys business oriented.